Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you again. What I want to talk to you about in this video is how to write a winning CV. With so many people out in the market looking for jobs, sending in applications, it's probably never been more important that you write a really good CV. If you have not been in the market for quite a long time, you also need to be aware that a good CV now looks very different from what it used to. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, your CV could be up to 6 to 7 pages. And it was essentially a summary of your career history, where you'd write down the job you did and the duties you did, and you'd give quite a bit of background information about each job. Nowadays, it's quite different because we don't read CVs. Recruiters, hiring managers scan your CV. Nobody has time to read 6 or 7 pages of CV. They scan your CV, and within about 7 seconds, they will have decided whether or not they want to proceed with you or whether they're going to chuck your CV out. So this is important because number one, nowadays, 1 or 2 pages for a CV, max 2 pages. In those 2 pages, you are going to highlight the key things from the job description that they are looking for you. Because it's going to be scanned, the layout, the design, the aesthetics of your CV is also important. It needs to be eye-catching. So you need headings which will draw the eye to the relevant sections which point out your skills, your experience, your capabilities. You can use boxes, tables, graphs, columns. You can use a variety of things just to make it look very interesting and very attractive, and so that you are going to stand out as well. And it is a very good idea to use some form of color or colors on your CV as well, depending on the job you're applying for, so you can be more or less creative with your CV. Now, I'm going to start off by showing you a couple of examples of CVs, and then I'm going to take you through how one actually writes it. So let's have a look at this one. Okay, at the top is the name. There's a photograph. This part over here is a professional summary. Underneath that is a set of achievements from the various jobs this person has been in. Down here are the core competencies and skills the person has. And then down here are some commendations. Now, I realize you're not going to be able to read it, but in some ways I'm pleased because these are actual people's CVs. And I don't want you to read them. I just want you to get a layout. Here is another example. At the top, name, photograph. No, it's not my CV, but I'm not going to use other people's photographs. Otherwise, they'll be looking through this video and go, oh, why am I in this woman's video? Okay, so all the photographs I've made of me. Underneath that is your contact details and personal details, professional summary, list of competencies and core skills, and then underneath here is selected achievements. When it comes to writing selected achievements, try and use numbers. So talk about sales targets exceeded, money saved, new processes that you've invented that save time. Numbers speak volumes, and it shows that you can add real value to an organization. Okay, so that's what a layout of a CV can look like. In fact, let me just give you one more. This has got 2 columns. There is, in fact, a photo here. The top is a broad summary, and then the second paragraph is highlighting key skills. They've listed key clients that they worked for, and there's commendations down the side as well. Now, you don't have to follow the CV exactly like this. You can use your own initiative and your own ideas and so forth. But I just want to give you an idea that if you think you're going to be writing page after page for a CV, please don't do that, because it's not going to get you noticed and it's not going to get you selected. Okay, so on a CV, we've seen some of them have a photograph. You don't have to put in a photograph, but some research shows that it is to your benefit. Please make it head and shoulders, and a color photograph is better. Usually somewhere near the top where your name and photograph is, the top of the front page that is, you will have contact details, or personal details as they used to be called. All you need to give is a name, an email, and a phone number. Older CVs have things like marital status, address, etc., etc. Don't put that in. Half of the stuff is not really legally allowed, and all it will do is date you, and you'll look old. So only name, email address, and phone number, and preferably a cell phone number, because it's easier to contact you on a cell phone number. Now, the email address, unless you're applying for a job as a stripper, sexypants@hotmail.com, no, okay, just no. You can do the Hotmail, you can do Gmail, you can do Yahoo. Recruiters are not going to expect you to have your own domain name, so those are absolutely fine. But use your first name and surname for the beginning of the email address, or use your surname and an initial, or use something that looks professional. Some people also put in their LinkedIn profile, and if you have one, it's quite a good idea, because it does make you look professional. But then make sure that when you click on the LinkedIn profile, your LinkedIn profile also looks professional. Somewhere on the front page, usually around the top third, is a professional summary. And this is a summary of your career, what you've done, your work experience, particularly as it fits with the requirements they are looking for the job. So your CV is customized for each job you apply for, and it needs to highlight the relevant experience and skills. If you have a long CV, so you've worked for 40 years, it is going to be long, so you don't have to put everything in it. Put in the stuff that highlights why you would be good for the job. So that's your professional summary. You're also going to put in educational qualifications or any training courses that are relevant to the position you're applying for. And then you're going to list skills and competencies. They are not going to read through your CV to go through your career summary to see what your skills are or your competencies are. You have to pull them out and you have to list them. And preferably, definitely, in fact, put them on the front page. And it just has to be words. Now, these are very important. When you are applying for a job and you're looking at what you've written in your skills and competency section, go through the job description again and highlight anything they require that you have. Any requirement in terms of a skill or a competency that you have that's in the job description, put in your CV. And put it in preferably exactly as they've worded it. This is not the time to be creative or to come up with as many synonyms as possible. Now, there's a reason for this. I don't know if you've heard of the term applicant tracking systems, abbreviated ATS. The chances are, though, the first screening of your CV will not be done by a human being. It will be done by a machine. And what it does is keywords from the job description are written in to a program as keywords. And everybody who sends in a CV, the CV is scanned, and they are specifically looking for keywords in terms of skills, competence, experience, qualifications that are written in the job description. So the more words that are in the job description that are also in your CV, the more likely you are to succeed with applicant tracking systems, and the more likely you are to get through to the next round. If you write a CV that hasn't got any of the keywords in it, you will be kicked out of the process. So that is why it's quite important. This is not an exercise in creative writing. If you have the job requirements, write them down as they are. Obviously, if you don't have the job requirements, don't write them down, because that's dishonest. And if you get found out to be dishonest, then things are not going to go very well for you. So that's the skills and competency section. And then on most of the CVs I've shown you, there is another area, and that is successes and achievements. A lot of people, even those who have their CV done by a professional, do not have a section on achievements. They might be written somewhere in the career history, but my advice to you is on the front page, have a very clearly demarcated area of achievements. If you make it through the process, the chances are there's going to be still quite a lot of you who meet all the skills, who have all the requirements. Then how are they going to select? They're going to select on the basis of who they think is going to add the most value to the organization. And they're going to assume that if you added value, if you made a difference, if you made your previous organizations better in some way that you worked in, that is what you will do for them. So you want a section with possibly 4 or 5 bullet points that list selected or key career achievements, and they need to be ways in which you stand out. You can also put awards. You can also put things like Employee of the Year. And as I said, you want to try and make it quantitative. They want to know that you will add value to their organization. You will come into their company, and in some way you will make it better. That is what they're looking for. And the other thing that quite a few CVs have is they have often in the columns, a section called commendations, which is like testimonials. They are not references. References are long, wordy things. It's 1 or 2 lines from a senior person who is respected and highly regarded, saying something like, I would always employ this person, or this person will always be an asset to every organization they work in, or this person helped us so much in terms of retaining clients, or whatever it is. But it is a respected senior person's 1 or 2 lines stating how you are a great employee and how other people would be lucky to have you. The second page is often just a summary of your career history. Please don't write duties and responsibilities, because we have no idea if you actually did those duties, how well you can do them. Write down what you've done. So when you do your career summary on the second page, or possibly even some of it on the first page, most recent, most relevant career work you've done, and talk about achievements, results, outputs, and what you've done. Once you've finished your CV, I want you to take it to a few people and ask them to have a look at it. Time them. They have 7 seconds to decide on scanning your CV whether they'd hire you for the job or not. And if they don't, if they're unsure, you know what you need to do. You need to go back and you need to really try and make it even better. Keep working at it. It's very competitive out there. You have to stand out. If you are looking for jobs this week, I wish you all the best. Keep going. Keep at it. It's quite soul destroying, but you will eventually find something. And from my side, all the best and have a great week.